What is going on, everyone? My name is Northy and we are here once again for the round 16 team coach preview. A new round, a exciting round because we are back to 9 games per weekend, and it's nice to not have these games that could be being played, just not happening. The 6-game weeks have been killing me, and I didn't even get to watch any of them last week, so hopefully this week we'll see some good fun. It's a bit annoying that it's coming out again Friday. I don't like that we are having these no Thursday night games after so many weekends of it, but here we are. It's just what we got to deal with, and I think we can live with a day off, an extra day of no football, but I don't know how many people will. That's the thing, but nonetheless, that is all irrelevant to what we've got on today. Of course, we're going through our teams, seeing who we've picked up and how we are going to go this weekend. I'm keen as a bean to have a look at it with you guys, but if you guys enjoy the video just as much as I do, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Everything again is always very, very much appreciated. I think we're going to be at 2.8k subscribers, so around 200 to go until 3k, which would be awesome if we can hit that soon. So thank you again so much for tuning into these videos, and let's get into the preview. And here we go. We are in a situation where we are hoping, of course, to continuously get those prize cards, but I think we are at 5 and 5 each with the prize cards. So 5 from each game mode, which is great. I love it, but we want to try and finish off the year with at least 12. We've got plenty of rounds to do it. We've got like 8 rounds to go. But I think the major goal, if we can hit 20, that'd be amazing. Halfway, 18 is like awesome as well, but we want to aim for 20. And that's obviously going to be a task. It's going to be a very, very difficult task, as we're only halfway there at this point, but I think we can do it. We just got to be very good for the rest of the season. 18, I think, is the most acceptable goal. And yeah, I just hope we continue to do big things during these rounds. So let's have a look first at the tips. Obviously, tips isn't usually our thing. Apart from the last 2 rounds, we've been perfect the last 2, mainly because there's only 6 games. But a perfect round is a perfect round, and we've done it twice. So we have a look here. First one is Adelaide versus Giants, and purely based off of form. Even though it is at Adelaide, we're going to go to the Giants. I have seen the Giants lose games they should have won. They did lose a game to the Hawks, which was, it was questionable whether the Giants were super, like, favourites for that, but they probably were more considered by most to be the winners of that one. So that loss to the Hawks definitely hurt them. I think they will be able to beat Adelaide at Adelaide, though. Just both the Adelaide sides have been disappointing this year. But then we go to Brisbane versus Melbourne, and although Melbourne is coming off a win, it is a 3-point win against North Melbourne, so you don't know how much that's worth. Obviously, no Petrarca is going to hurt them a lot, so I think Brisbane takes this comfortably. Geelong v Essendon, this, I think, is at GMHBA, and man, does Geelong need this. Geelong needs this win just to put their season like back on track in some kind of way. It just feels like this season has completely lost them. Like, they were so good to start the year, and then something has completely thrown them off track. But I think with that being said, against Essendon at a place like GMHBA, you'd feel like you'd favour Geelong, but you just don't know. I am going to pick Geelong, and I don't know whether that's going to be a mistake or not. I honestly am leaning more towards a mistake, but I think there's just a part of me that feels like Geelong should be able to do something against this Essendon squad in front of their home fans in a ground that they're so used to. But we've seen them lose to GWS, and an Essendon squad that's looking quite good, you'd think would be able to take it. Then we've got Gold Coast versus Collingwood. This is at People First Stadium, and Gold Coast have a perfect record there, but Collingwood have been starting to show those signs again. The very, very scary loss the week before to North may have you think otherwise, but they had to come back from 54 points down in some way. But there could be some things to take out of that North Melbourne win. It's like Nick Dacos getting tagged by Will Phillips. That is something Gold Coast could explore in their game. That could see them win it. I'm going to go Collingwood, but I would not be surprised if Gold Coast makes it a fight. Then we've got North versus the Dogs, and as good as North have looked these last 2 games, I just cannot get myself to pick them. I really want them to win, and I want them to prove me wrong, but I've got to go the Dogs. Just, there's no reason I should be picking North at this point. I just feel like the Dogs have to take it, just off of like my non-biased brain. And then we've got Richmond Carlton, and I recently got a comment saying you never tip against Richmond when they play Carlton. I don't know where that came from. I think they drew once when I went to a game between them. And, like, Carlton's form is just that much better than Richmond's. Richmond just got dealt another injury blow with Dylan Grimes. Man, Richmond has just had it so rough this year, but we're going to go Carlton. And then the battle of disappointment, we've got St Kilda versus Power. The big loss last week for the Power. They've had a few losses that have just been unacceptable for their standards and the players they've got on that team. Again, it's that backline that really worries me for that Port squad. And then St Kilda have also been fairly disappointing throughout the year. I don't know who is going to take this one. It's at Victoria. It's on the Saints home deck, I believe at Marvel. This is going to be a very interesting game. I don't know which way to lean towards. I think I'm going to go Port's way. I honestly think Port will be able to take it. I just... Something about it, I don't know. I feel like Port should be able to take this one. They are higher on the ladder than the Saints, but they both have a tendency to just really let you down. But then we go to Sydney versus Freo, and as good as Freo have looked as of late, I'm going to go Sydney. Sydney just look unstoppable right now. And then West Coast versus Hawthorn, and although West Coast have shown signs, Hawthorn are looking like a team that are trying to push for the top 8, which is crazy to think. So we're going to go Hawthorn, but I think it'll be an exciting game. So that's what we've got. Oh man, it is very interesting. I don't know whether the home deck advantage will happen for West Coast and whether it'll work for them. It very much could. It definitely could, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's stop that now. Let's save that, and we're going to head over to Star Powers next. Now, there's only one change, I believe, for the Star Powers Silver squad here, and that is our midfield ball. We do not have Merritt. We have Cripps. They are up against Richmond, and obviously that midfield for Richmond, it's okay, but I think Cripps, Walsh, and all those guys, I've got a lot of Carlton players in my top teams, and I think Cripps, along with the rest of them, will be able to have a field day against Richmond, and so I'm hopeful that'll work for me. No point taking out Golden. Golden has just remained so good. We got Lucky Whitfield, which I think they are up against Adelaide if I remember, so hopefully Whitfield does his thing there. We've got the next gen, which is Nick Martin as per, because he just remains the consistent one. Having a look out for DeConning though, because obviously coming off a good week. Maybe he has another good one against the Richmond Tigers, but against Nank, it could be a little tougher than he thinks. And then of course, we've got Maxi Gawn sticking in the Trailblazer spot. Only the 98 last week, but just a valiant effort. Just a really, really good effort from Sherry. I'm actually really shocked he did as well as he did, but I'm happy for him, and maybe Brisbane get that against them. I know Big O and Joe Danaher are a pretty good duo, even though it's usually Big O, but my hope is that Trailblazer position will continue to be good for Max Gawn because of the fact that he gets up and down the ground. Big O can a little, but I think Maxi just has a way of getting himself involved in the play more than Big O can. Joe, however, on the other hand, although he's not in the ruck as much, does get involved. So it'll be interesting to see how they work out that matchup. It will be good fun to watch. And we did quite well last week with the lineup that we had. That's why there's very minimal change. Zach Merritt was in here before, and it got us, yeah, pretty high up. 564 is very, very good. Not good enough for a prize card, which is obviously what we're looking for, but I am happy with what we had, and so maybe we can do it again this week. Honestly, it comes down to these two. Errol's 150 was awesome and definitely pushed me over the line. Lockie's 108 was great too, and Zach Merritt had 111 as well, so pretty good all around. We're going to go to Ultra though, and this is where things get fun. Let's have a look at Ultra. 2 Sydneys as our double points for the mighty in midfield. We've got Errol Goulden, obviously no point taking him out with the way he's been playing. And then midfield we've gone Tom Green as he is up against Adelaide off a 127 point week. Now we don't know if this is going to stay the same. Obviously Giants are loaded with midfield talent and he's averaging 94 for the season. Started off hot, not as much now, and there's players like Warner, like Sarong, even Newcomb, who could absolutely burst off. We've even got an Adam Treloar double points that I haven't put in just yet, but the Tom Green pick here against Adelaide, I feel like could work out well. Rory Laird, maybe one that stops a little bit. I don't know if they've got a designated tagger. They probably do. So maybe they go to Tom, but honestly, they could go to the likes of Josh Kelly if he's playing. I'm not 100% sure. They could go to Cogs. They could go to plenty of players on that Giants squad. There's a lot of danger in that squad that could make things very difficult for them. But yeah, the Max Gawn double points. Ever since we got him, I'm just keeping him in there. No point in me not. And we've got Hayden Young in here again, only the 4 points off Whitfield. He got 3 goals last week, which helped us a bunch. It's really good to have Hayden Young in there. Lockie Whitfield, obviously his silver would be a very good option too, but we don't have it, so that's unfortunate. And then Nick Martin, we do have his double points, but we're going with his regular silver this week. I'm taking the risk on the Tom Green pick. It's just fingers crossed. He just needs a good game, 100 plus, and we'll be happy. Errol's been doing it fairly consistent as of late, and I expect nothing less from him. Maxi Gawn can bounce back. I know he can, and yeah, we just need something that can give us another prize card. This gave us a prize card last week, nearly 900 points, so if we can get another good week, happy days. It'd just be awesome if we can do it. So Star Powers looks exciting, and hopefully we see some good come out of it this week. Man, it's good not having any restrictions on my teams. It's great. And then we go to top 4. Not many changes here either. There was a few here and there that went wrong in order to stop us from getting a top 10. Maxi Gawn not doing the best ruck job compared to the rest of the league. Obviously, it's hard to get the best ruck one every single week, but Maxi is usually a safe bet. Heaney as well, also usually a safe bet, but you can see one of his less impressive weeks. You can see very little involvement in terms of marks, maybe a few tackles here and there. I think he had a few tackles, but his kick to handball ratio definitely hurt him in terms of points, but that's okay because Heaney is usually safe. And we got Dacos. We're going to put Dacos in there again. Sheasel was our pick last week, and that was an awesome pick. Definitely helped us out. But now that Dacos is back, and I've been seeing Sheasel get more half-forward time, which is starting to scare me because, yeah, he topped the league last week for defenders, but I don't know if that's going to keep going. I think Elliot Yeo also had a better game, which just reminded me that I haven't got the West Coast code for some reason. I didn't even realize, but I'm not going to stress too much because I don't think Yeo is going to make up too much of my team. I'm not really worried about it. I'll chuck in a code eventually, but yeah, Elliot Yeo may be a good pick soon, but Dacos is obviously the one we are picking up. There's the likes of Young, though, Whitfield, Newman, obviously. Newman, I don't know how involved he'll be considering they're up against Richmond. Will Powell being back, he can have the occasional really good one. You can see 12 marks. That's huge. Ridley can do well. McGrath can do well. Himmelberg as well can occasionally have great games. Tom Stewart we know of. Houston's had big ones. Luke Ryan can pop off too, but he's had 2 poor weeks as of late, and I'm just waiting for him to have a massive one this week as I've taken him out of my top 18. But yeah, Errol Goulden is not needed to be discussed. He has been very good for 2 weeks in a row. I do not need to change him. 60th place. We're keeping this season rank 1 for top 4. Just going to hold on to it as long as I can. That's the plan. We are 15 rounds in. Good signs, but I just need to hold on. Just have to hold on, man. It's going to be a tough one. We've got top 18 now, and this one, it was really tough. This was a really tough one this week. I wanted to keep the likes of Walsh in and the 2 Carlton boys. I kept Newman in, which I don't know is going to be a mistake or not because I don't know how much they're going to need him, but we've got Mackay and Kerno there for when they inevitably kick goals this weekend, as they do every weekend. Walsh should hopefully dominate. I thought about Cripps, and Cripps may still get a spot. I'm just not sure where. This is a really tough week to find like open spots. I've taken out Nick Martin and put in Lockie Neal, considering they're up against Melbourne, who are very deflated in there. We've got the Bont, who is up against North, and I thought, although North's midfield is really, really good, I feel like even if Bont was tagged, their tagger that I've been seeing is Will Phillips. He's just not got the strength that Bont has. I just do not see it being too effective unless he literally goes all over his back in order to stop him. It's a very, very interesting situation we've got at North Melbourne, and I'm interested to see how they play against Bont. I think he's going to have his way. It's unfortunate, but I hope that I'm either wrong and that North win or right and that Bont scores big. And that being said, I've also got Dale because I've seen North Melbourne get a lot of clearance work. Their forward obviously has its problems, so Bailey Dale probably will get his way around the back line in that game and will most likely get involved a fair bit. We've got Young, who finds himself in the midfield occasionally, and that paid off dividends last week. Dacos, who comes back. Whitfield, we've kept him in. No reason to take him out as he had a great game last week. Sheasel again, we've still got him in case he does have another good game. Like I mentioned though, he has found himself in that forward half a little bit, and that always scares me when it comes to North players, but he's shown that he's still effective. And then the likes of Myers coming back. We missed his good game last week. I do not like having 2 Geelong forwards here like this, so I am looking to switch out one of them. I was thinking Isaac Rankin, but it's so hard. It's so hard to get them on a good week, man. It's very tough. Like, this forward line is the most likely one to have random high scorers. Like, Hipwood's is his second week where he scored over 100. So good on him. Stringer popped off for 119. Like, it's fairly random. Rayner, who's averaged 65, is up there. Ben Layson with 71. Like, that's not impressive, but like, it's okay. And it's stuff that I'm just very worried about. I don't know who's going to go off. Cam Zerha, as of late, has also had some big ones. So I just don't know. I really don't know. But top 18 last week saw us get 76. It was our worst one, I think. But I'm not worried about it. It's a good score. And I just need a few players, like 1 or 2 players, just to up it. We had Cozzy last week and Carl Langford last week. That probably ruined us. So if we can just stop those really low scores, like if we have a few 30s and 40s, that's when we start worrying. And obviously, the place I'm worried about that is this forward line. Mize has occasionally had 60s. Cameron usually plays well, but you never know. We've had Luke Ryan with 2 70s, which isn't good for defenders. And then sometimes we just have problems in the midfield too. Bont will occasionally just get punched down in the forward line and not move from there for the rest of the game. So we don't want that to happen. We want Bont to be in and around it as much as we possibly can. But that is my round 16 preview. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy the preview and are excited to see the weekend of footy once again, be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. As per usual, everything is so appreciated. Again, we are coming up to 3,000 subscribers, exciting times, so help me out as much as you can. If you haven't subbed already, become a subscriber. It's very much appreciated here. I try and get you guys involved as much as I can through streams, through content, whatever I can do. It's always very nice to have a chat and have some fun with you guys. So with that all being said, thank you all so much for tuning in once again. I hope to see you all very soon. Good.